Wait, they were like, what?
And I was like, boss, please.
Hey, listeners. Welcome to another episode. I'm Megan. I'm here with Jill.
Hello, girlfriend.
Hey, girl. Hey. Okay, yeah, so let's jump in. How are you, boss?
Okay, so I was a boss because I cleaned both of my bathrooms. And I know what you're thinking. Wow, Jill, what a lame-ass boss moment this week. But let me be honest with you. I hate the bathroom. I feel like I've talked about it on the podcast before. I will clean anything else. You know, I will get down on my hands and knees and I will scrub the kitchen top to bottom, scrub the inside of the refrigerator, get everything perfectly clean. I hate doing the bathrooms. And generally, my boyfriend Seamus does them. He's been away at work, so I have had to do this since, you know, we're having guests at my apartment recording, and it's not just me living in my own filth. So I cleaned the bathrooms, and I have to say, they look squeaky.
Well, I'll be sure to go in it and use it because I haven't gone to the bathroom yet.
Oh, like, you don't even know the half of it. Like, I literally also went in the shower and cleaned the shower and took out what could have been a child's wig of my hair out of the drain.
I've done that. Do you get the snake?
I did it with my hand, and I was like,
oh my gosh. So when you know when your tub starts to fill up, you get the snake. It usually comes with the Drano, like on the side, and you stick it down there. And when you pull it out, it's like it's scarier than us. It's
Who
scarier than
died
that movie.
down there?
Exactly. You're just like, what? And you're like, all that came off of my head?
Yeah.
This is insane. Oh,
Yeah.
I can't.
okay, how are you a boss?
I was a boss because usually when I go out, I don't like go out by myself unless it's a coffee shop. But I had a long, full day, and I was like, I need a glass of wine. Okay. So I went to a bar and ordered a glass of red by myself. And you know what? I didn't like want to get hit on, or I mean, I wasn't really anticipating on talking to anyone, which I didn't. I just must have had FU written on my forehead. But I just sat there and I just drank my glass of wine, and I ordered food to go, but it was nice to just sit there and just be like, oh, I can do this. And I felt so boss, just like I felt very Carrie Bradshaw.
I love that. Nothing like rewarding yourself with a little glass of cab.
And it was a local blend. I forget what it was, but I tried something new. Yes,
lovely.
I got the hostess recommendation.
Okay.
So I thought for our real talk, what would be really fun to talk about is some of our initial careers that we thought we like when we were 3 and 5, like what we wanted to be as kids, and then how drastically they've probably changed. So what did you want to be when you were a kid?
Famous.
Yeah.
I wanted to be on Broadway. My first Broadway show was Beauty and the Beast.
Okay.
And it changed my life. My parents knew that I was really into theater. I had done it in elementary school, and they got me like 4th row tickets. And I was such a fan. Like in Be Our Guest, they shot off confetti cannons, and at the end of the performance, before we left, I gathered an entire bag full of confetti, and I have it in a scrapbook in my parents' house in New Jersey. Like, I was all for it. I was the kid that would save playbills. I just did a lot of stuff. I was always very musical, and that was sort of the dream. You know, I had gotten the leads in pretty much all the shows that I auditioned for. I was very blessed in that sense, and I think I have an okay voice. So it was the dream. And then I realized, as some of my other friends were auditioning for college to be a musical theater major, I got scared. And I just really thought, what is this going to look like for my future? And I'm not good enough. And what can I do that is still performance but provides more stability? And that was broadcast journalism. So I ended up taking courses my junior and senior year at a TV station at our school. Luckily, we had that.
Yeah.
We were like the only high school in the town that basically ran. It was called TV 21.
Oh, that's great.
Ran the TV station. So we had a morning show and everything else. It was a really good learning experience for me. I got to learn linear editing and all these things that I ended up using in college. So yeah, that was what it turned into. And then obviously like a ton of evolution from there. I mean, I do a million things.
Right, of course.
You know,
that's so funny though, because your journey has been pretty much like, okay, I knew I wanted to be famous, and now here I am continuing in entertainment. Me, I was like completely different.
like, what did you want to do?
Well, eventually I got bit by the fame bug. I think around 4th grade.
Okay.
My very first ideal dream job, I wanted to be a dental hygienist.
I love that.
Not even kidding. I was 3 and I loved going to the dentist, and they even wrote it in my little my records.
See, that's like really young, because when I was very young, like I wanted to be Inspector Gadget, but like that's like a very like real thing.
Oh, no, I was like, I am going to be a dental hygienist. I like told everybody, and they, the Cabbage Patch even had a little dental hygienist chair. I had that. I was like
so
all
cute.
about inspecting teeth. And then a couple years after that, I think I realized that was kind of gross. Then I was super into wanting not being an astronaut, but I was so convinced I was going to work in mission control for NASA. I wanted to work for NASA so badly. I was that kid that would spend my weekends looking at astronomy books and drawing constellations.
Now, did you have the throw up phobia back then? Because that would never fly.
But I didn't want to be an astronaut. I just wanted to work in mission control.
Okay.
Yeah. No, oh hell no. I would not make it to the moon without vomiting 1,000 times. Yeah, no, not at my, no, but I did. We went to Texas and my grandmother took me on a tour of NASA. It was so great. And then I remember on the tour, they were like, you have to excel in math and science. And I just looked at her and my dream ended immediately right there. I was like, oh, okay, if that's what it takes. Oh, okay, then this isn't for me. And then I think I sort of began realizing like, oh, I love to entertain. I love to perform. Like, let's go that route. But yeah, I've had a lot of weird journeys.
I mean, let's be honest, I'm still pulling for Broadway, and that is on the bucket list of things to do.
I definitely think that you can sing, you can dance, you have that. I definitely could see.
I'm hoping that
performing on
I
Broadway.
become famous enough where they're like, hey, why don't you come and be Roxy in Chicago for 6 months? Why don't you do this? And it's like, come on, babe. Why don't we paint the town? And all that jazz.
Oh, yes, girl. Yeah. Oh, my God. I would kill to see you. You should perform at the Rockwell.
That was not my best. But it's hard to perform out here because a lot of the rehearsal conflicts. So, like, I have looked into it. And I have a lot of friends that do that and perform at these, like, small little theaters and clubs in the area. And it's just, like, they rehearse during my paying job workday.
Yeah, no, I get that.
So it's a little challenging.
Money.
Or they do it like late at night, and like, let's be honest, girl, I'm already exhausted from the classes I take at night.
No.
I can't do that anymore.
But I'm proud of you for doing that.
Listen, we're just living our dreams. Whatever the iteration of the dream is now, we're living it.
We are living it, I think. But anyways, but you know who is living their best life and their dreams?
Tell me.
Carly Kaplan.
Yes.
And she is our guest. She is the writer, producer, and host of the digital award-winning show Inside Nick. So we'll be back with her in just a few. Welcome back, listeners. I'm so excited to welcome Carly Kaplan. She is in studio with us. So originally from Dallas, Texas, Carly Kaplan is a producer, writer, and host of the award-winning digital series Inside Nick, currently in production on its 2nd season. The show takes fans behind the scenes of all things Nickelodeon. Kaplan has worked professionally in social media for the last 5 years and has gained in-depth hands-on experience in the ever-evolving digital landscape. Isn't that true? She is a member of the Nickelodeon brand social media with a key focus on Instagram stories and live streams, working directly with talent and production. You can take a peek into their work on Nickelodeon's YouTube channel or check her out on her personal Instagram at CarCap. Welcome, Carly.
Thank you, Megan.
I've been wanting to have you on this podcast for so long. I think I met you literally a year ago.
I think it was exactly a year ago.
It was almost a year ago. And I was like, girl, P.S. I know your whole life story. I love you. And you're like, who is this crazy person?
But it was so nice to meet you. And I felt like had a very nice, natural.
It was. I was at a social media week for America's Funniest Videos. I saw her like Inside Nick, but I was like, I know her. I need to talk to her. But the our connection goes back further than that because you went to Emerson. So tell us a little bit about what you studied and what your dream was originally while you were at Emerson.
Oh, man. Okay. So I went to Emerson. I was actually a film production major. I was a marketing minor. And when I was there, I went in all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed thinking I was going to be the next director. And then I sat down in my first film history 101 class and I realized I hated it. It wasn't that I hated it, but I was surrounded by all these boys that were talking about oh, well, you know, Quentin Tarantino film that I love. And they were saying all these things. And I was like, I like rom-coms and bright colors, and I really like stylized things. And I just didn't feel like I belonged in those classes. And I was taking the film classes, and I still was like, I think that's what I want to do, but I'm not really sure. And then I started taking the marketing classes just as like, you know, minor throwaway. And I was realizing that I was getting so much more out of those classes. I was actually engaged. I was learning. I was having great conversations with my roommates and friends. And I was realizing I was growing so much more in that field. So I was still like had the passion of the film, but I was getting really beat down. And I was getting beat down also on set. You know, so many women have this experience, but like being a PA in those first years of you being a PA with live action sets, it's tough. Like there's so many things that are just sexist that are out there that are, it's such a man's world, and it's so stupid and silly that it is, but it was hard. And I was realizing much more clearly that I was, you know, needing something that was a combination of film and marketing, but wasn't quite. And then, I mean, we've all been like growing up in this crazy world of social media developing and changing every 5 minutes. I didn't know that was a job when I was in college. It wasn't a job, to be honest, when I was in college. And so really being able to be at the forefront of that has been really exciting. And really, I mean, it's, I think, the perfect breed of my like two loves of film and marketing.
Yes.
Yeah, like not to age us, but to age us. We didn't have Instagram when we were at Emerson.
That's, yeah,
So,
no, I mean,
it's been a while. Yeah, no,
it's crazy to think about how much it's changed. I mean, you wake up one day in this industry and you're like, oh, there's an entirely new app that everyone is on apparently, and I
you're
guess
like,
I need to
figure it out.
figure it out
Yeah.
now because that's my career now.
But honestly, I want to say props to you for sticking out the film journey, because if that were me in my first class, I probably would have been like, I'm gonna drop this major and do another thing. But you stuck it out. And
You have
and
to.
you minored in another thing that you found passion in. So that's amazing, girl.
So
Thank you.
talk to us about the transition from Emerson to LA and sort of, you know, how you came to be in the position you're in today.
Yeah, so Emerson has this really awesome internship program that you move out to LA, and basically everybody, you guys know this, transitions from Boston, to Los Angeles. So I was really lucky that I got to come out here. I got an internship at Nickelodeon, which was completely awesome and random, and I didn't know. It was also Nickelodeon Animation, not just Nickelodeon. So it was animation specifically. And I was like, I have no animation experience, but we're going to run with this because amazing opportunity. And I got an internship there, and I was working really hard there, but it was in special events, which was, again, awesome opportunity, but not necessarily what I was going to go in professionally. But it was a door open at the studio, which was really awesome. And I got to really connect with everybody there, being in special events and getting to go to all the premiere parties and getting to actually know all the key characters that were around the studio. And I was really lucky to be able to transition with my friends, and I have a built-in community that I'm sure you guys had too when you were transitioning and moving out here. Yeah, and so then I had that internship. I had another internship, actually, a few other internships while I was like first moving out here, because I mean, it was like finishing school and all of that sort of stuff. And then I was really lucky enough to, as soon as I graduated a semester early, I got hired on as a production assistant at Nickelodeon on a show that got canceled pretty quickly after I started, which was fine because I was already there and I was at the studio, and it was a really, thankfully, very like natural transition for me.
Side note,
Yes.
you're the generation where they paid you for your internships, right?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah,
I'm sorry.
We missed that boat. We just got school credit. It's all good.
It's cool. Don't worry
It's
about
fine. It's fine. It's not your fault. You guys were just smarter. It's
To
fine.
be fair, I just recently gave a talk to some interns, and they were, I'm not kidding, complaining about making $15 an hour. And I was like, back in my day.
So get this. So I was a mentor at Emerson for like their career transition program called CAN. And I told people how much I made starting out. I was like, I made $31,000 $1,000 on my first job out here. And they, when I tell you, the jaws had to be picked up from the floor. They're thinking like, oh, I'm going to graduate. I'm going to like get like $60K in my first job.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
No, you have to work. You have to take those, shitty jobs at the beginning, and you have to give it your all at the beginning, because that is, it's easier said than done, obviously, because sometimes you're getting coffee and you're like, this isn't my career, but you have to do that, and you have to do it with a smile.
Yes, I remember
and be happy about
one
it.
of my jobs. I was PAing for America's Funniest Videos, and some girl was like, you have to go to this restaurant to get Vin's sandwich, and if it's not hot when he gets, like, not that Vin was,
no, totally,
he's a fantastic person, but just the pressure that other people that work for Vin put on you to make sure that his sandwich was still hot. I was like, but that's the kind of things that interns have to do.
Absolutely. And I after that, I actually became Butch Hartman's assistant. That was one of my earlier first jobs. Right after that first show I was on got canceled, I switched over and I became Butch Hartman, who's the creator of Fairly Odd Parents and Danny Phantom and Tough Puppy, and his new show also, which was just starting at the very beginning, but Bunsen is a Beast. And so I got to be there and be like an actual showrunner and show creator's assistant, which was incredible experience. And like, I got to go under his wing completely and really learn the ropes of running a show, which was awesome. And Butch was so great about letting me into, if I wanted to go into the writer's room, I was allowed to go into the writer's room. If I wanted to go to all the voice recordings, I could do that. So I was able to, yes, also do the, shitty jobs. I was scheduling hair appointments and stuff like that, but I was so happy to be doing it. And I was so happy to be taken under the wings of somebody who knows what they're doing and knows how to be a really successful show creator. So that was kind of my next step after that. Yeah.
So I've been to Nickelodeon, and your campus in Burbank is like Google. Or not that I've been to Google, but it's so fun. You feel like a kid.
It is. It is incredible, honestly. And it's colorful, and it really greets you when you first walk in through the doors. But I guess it's always kind of been like that, but we recently did, while I've been there even, I've been there for 4 years. So while I've been there, they've built a whole new building. It's like growing every day. It does feel very young. They say campus. They want you to say campus.
Oh, I didn't even know that. I just naturally called it campus because it felt like a campus.
It is a slightly pretentious thing. You say, I'm attending the campus event. It's like, okay, you're still a place of employment, but I love it because obviously we went to Emerson. We didn't technically like have a campus. It feels much more like a campus.
It does.
Classical.
And wait, I'm sorry. I just need to ask her this one question, then you can go on.
Okay.
So you've been slimed.
I have.
It is my dream to be slimed. Tell me everything. What does it feel like? What does it taste like? All of it.
I feel really bad that I'm saying that. I love being slimed. Oh, I think I legally have to say that, first of all. But I have been slimed now 4 times on camera. It feels like conditioner on your hair.
That's a good explanation. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
There's also, this is something that I think is just like fascinating. Nickelodeon has a slime council. That is an official position that multiple people have in New York at the like official Nickelodeon headquarters. The slime council oversees everything that has to do with slime in relationship to the company.
You guys should see my face right now. My jaw's on the floor.
Megan's looking at me like I am.
Like I just found my new dream job.
I'm actually like, Carly, can we set this up? Like, I need to be on the slime council. I need to be on the slime council.
It's such a mysterious thing, and it's kind of a joke, but then Taryn and I were creating this slime episode, and it was all about slime, and we sent it off, and we got feedback from this mysterious slime council, and they sent like I'm not kidding, like 50-page deck on rules and practices. That's why I'm saying I think I legally have to talk positively about slime, because I really do genuinely think that that's part of the slime council contract, and there's all of these rules. Like, slime has to be green. There's a few exceptions, like slime can and has been gold, but slime can only be talked about positively. Slime is not a character ever. Slime is a happy, positive thing that is happening. It's honestly, it's fascinating that there's that many rules surrounding slime. But yes, slime feels fantastic.
I am
went on a ramble there.
All my glory right now. That is so interesting. We can talk more slime after.
Yes,
but
definitely.
Let's get down to the boss business.
Yeah, let's talk inside Nick. So how did that happen? Was that a you thing that you brought to them? Because like you essentially created this position, no?
Kind of. Okay. It's a little bit of a long story, but
we're here for it.
We're here for it.
Okay.
I'm
here to tell it. work as a I'm on the social media team. So Taryn and I both, we work a lot with talent where technically our position is live stories. So Instagram stories, Snapchat, really being in contact with all of these fabulous child stars. So we were at a photo shoot that was really big, and a lot of executives were there from out of town, and Taryn and I were doing our thing, capturing this hot content, as we call it, with the kids, and we were getting all of this great stuff, and then we got called into a meeting a week later, and we looked at each other with like, oh my God, what did you do? Like, did you do anything? Like, I swear I was on my best behavior. We went into this meeting with our tails between our legs. We had genuinely like no idea what it was about. And fortunately, we went in there and they were like, by the way, so we really loved your dynamic and we think that you guys would be really great for hosting a show. We don't really know what it's about. We want it to be behind the scenes, but like, could you have it in the next, like, it was like a 2-week period and it was a very quick turnaround. And we were like, oh, I mean, yes, of
First
course.
of all, like, dreams come true.
Dreams. And I hate saying that story, honestly, because
it's
such a
amazing.
stars aligned, lucky sort of thing. Not luck, because, you know, we worked hard to get to that position
For
too.
sure.
But all of a sudden we were kind of scrambling to go and make this first episode because we had to get this first episode out with like a deadline. And then we realized after the first episode was out, we were going to have a little bit more time to hone in and like understand what the show is. But it's funny because now we're in the middle of season 2 production right now. But looking back on the first episode of season 1, we don't even have a name for the show at the time. And so it's a lot of, not fake it till you make it, but
that's her motto. It's fine. It's totally fine.
It's a lot of that because we literally we showed up on the first day we were filming. We went to the slime factory actually for our very first episode. And we just all of a sudden randomly started, you know, talking in unison. And we were like, what outfits do we have that like we could wear? And we were going through our closet and we were like, oh, we do both have black overalls. That was like kind of quirky that we have matching outfits. And then we kind of just from there, we ran with it. Our thing now is, you know, we wear matching purple jumpsuits and we talk in unison. And that's like kind of like the twin friendship thing that we've really built upon. So we started with a behind the scenes go for it idea. And then we fortunately have been able to gather an amazing team since then and be able to really run with that idea. But it's my favorite thing in the whole world.
You guys do have great chemistry. I was watching your episodes and I was like, you can tell that, I mean, I know you guys write it and script it or not, but it's very natural and organic.
It's funny because, I mean, we're best friends in real life too, but we do that in real life too, the talking on top of each other and like in unison. I'm sure you both understand.
Yes.
Yeah, when you're with somebody, and I mean, we work together. We're so close. We're constantly within
at Nickelodeon?
Yes, we did. So it's, you know, when you're with somebody for a certain amount of time, I think there's definitely a lot of chemistry, but also, you know, real life BFFs.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that.
So I want to talk about the process a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's talk about how you come up with the concepts. You know, is it the two of you working together? You said you have a team that works with you, but really, how are you coming up with these ideas? And then I want to talk about awards next, because that's really exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the first thing is the first season was 10 episodes. So with those 10 episodes, we really realized that we needed to focus our priorities with the network to be able to get network support. So that was something that we quickly learned and quickly adapted.
Smart girls.
Yeah. We quickly realized, if there is Double Dare is premiering this month, well, I guess we're going behind the scenes of Double Dare.
Yeah.
And we quickly were able to really align our priorities, and we've been able to do that in season 2 as well with the network priorities, which is awesome. And then because of that, we actually do get full network support often, which is incredible. So that's kind of been the focus for our picking of the episodes. And it's crazy because so many different things change. I mean, oftentimes we'll be in the middle of filming an episode and we'll hear a new show was picked up and we'll be like, well, I guess that's our focus now. And that's awesome. And that's really, really great. in the middle of season 2, but we've already had, I mean, we pitched all of the episodes in advance, but we've already had like 5 episodes change because, I mean, the networks change and networks priorities change and the order changes and all of that sort of stuff. So yeah, I mean, we get the idea for it and then we sit down in a room and Taryn and I are writing them. So we're going in there and they kind of, sometimes we joke, but naturally write themselves just because we can sit there and like talk at each other and then type it down. We're like, oh yeah, we said that. Yeah, write that down. And there's certain things that we do in every episode, you know, like the same intros and like beats that we try and hit. So it's been a huge, as you both know, running your own show takes a lot of different learning curves and a lot of things. And our team is incredible. I was saying that our team has slowly grown, which is really awesome to see too, because we like started with a photographer, editor who was like doing both of those things and like Superman and a director as well. And now we have a PA in season 2, guys, which is incredible.
That's That's like when you know you made it. You're like, oh yeah,
this is fantastic.
Do you sit with the editor as well, or do you guys edit, or how does that work?
No, so our editor is just, again, he's like a Superman photographer, awesome, also a producer. And we trust him at the very beginning. Of course, there was a learning curve because both of us were like, oh, like I mean, both of us can edit also. And we were like, we can do this. Like, yeah. And then we realized, oh no, like trust people, which is a hard thing to learn. And it's a great lesson to learn because I was like, he's going to do a great job. He's going to do a better job and see it through a different lens. And we should trust that. And it's been really great to be able to see that.
That's awesome. And you've won awards with one season. What are the awards? I don't want to get them wrong, so you tell what you've won.
I'm gonna butcher the names of these actually, but
they're all like digital.
They're all digital awards,
which is great. So they're kind of relatively newer because digital is new.
They're all relatively newer. I think I actually am gonna skip that. I don't even.
Oh, that's fine. Oh, no. But the important thing is you guys have won awards for this show,
which has been incredible,
which is amazing because the YouTube world can be so saturated. But the fact that you've retained an audience, your views are amazing.
Thank you.
And
I'm
you
really
do it on your own. Like, yes, you have a team, but it's your 2-girl band there doing all these different jobs. Is immaculate, which is obviously why we had you on the show, because we're like, you and Taryn are both girl bosses and it's phenomenal.
Thank you. I've been listening to the podcast and you have so many girl bosses, just bosses in general, women, queens that are taking over. So I'm very flattered that you guys asked me to be here.
Of course.
It's so crazy. One of the previous guests that we've had on, she gave birth and then went back to work 5 days later.
Stop.
She was a phone interview and we were like, Jill and I were just staring at each other like, is she a real person? Like,
I'm just like, women are just these
incredible
amazing unicorns. Yes. Like, they're just these creatures that we need to highlight, and especially because you're so young, I feel like, you know, you provide a certain amount of, you know, sparkly inspiration for those.
She does sparkle, doesn't she?
Yes, she does. Mm-hmm. For those people out there that are hoping to pursue a career in social media and to be a creator like yourself. So I have to commend you on that because, you know, like you said, it was a certain amount of luck, but you guys both did a lot of work to get the position that you were in today. So you need to pat yourself on the back.
Definitely. Thank you. I should come here more.
Welcome. So I want to know, this is the thing that you're doing right now. Mm-hmm. What is sort of you looking ahead? You know, what is it that you haven't accomplished that you still want to, or what would be the ideal role for you?
That's such a daunting question.
I know. But we have to think ahead.
But you have to think ahead, and I am such a planner, so yes, absolutely. I see myself doing more of this, which is really exciting because I feel really lucky that I am young and I do think I kind of know the direction I'm headed. So, I mean, Inside Nick has been incredible with being able to host, produce, and write something. And I just want to make things. Yeah. It sounds so silly, but I am so in admiration of anyone who makes anything. It can be garbage that somebody I knew in high school is doing, and I'm like, yes, you're making something, you're putting something out there. I think that's just so incredible and something that I'm sick of hearing people talk about making things and then not actually doing it. So, I mean, yes, I would love to be hosting and producing my own stuff. That would be the goal, the trajectory for me. And I think I'm hopefully on the right track to keep doing that for a while.
The cool thing is, and this is something I wanted to ask you too, when you were at Emerson, your dream was more behind the scenes. You were like, okay, social media, I'm producing. Did you ever anticipate being in front of the camera?
Well, so it's kind of funny. I grew up thinking I was going to be in front of the camera. Theater was my background. Acting.
I feel like you can act too. I could see you in a sitcom as well. Because you're very like animated.
I appreciate that. I honestly, that was my entire dream. And then I guess, I don't know, life hits you, man. And then like junior year, you're like, I'm applying to colleges. And I always loved film. So that was something I did think I was going to naturally pursue rather than, I don't know, telling my family I was going to acting school. Not that I would absolutely say that, but it's just I felt like that was a much more me path and I'd rather learn those things at school and be able to just rely on my like training for myself for more acting, being able to do that outside of a school environment. I guess
we had a very similar path, the two of us.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh,
I
good.
wanted to be on Broadway.
Oh, see, no, totally. And I grew up like I did commercials and like it's the same thing. And I was theater. Oh, I was the theater president. I loved theater. I loved the musicals and everything. But I didn't see that being something I could make money at, honestly. And I was like, well, again, like senior year high school, Carly was like, I'll be a director. It's going to be great.
Yeah, no.
Which will totally make me money. That's a much more financially stable career path. Yeah, that makes sense. So yes, I absolutely had that theatrical background. Taryn does as well. Taryn is like a classically trained, like stage acting, went to acting school. Like that is her thing. So we both got kind of lucky that both of us were just on this like social media path and both of us happened to have, you know, acting experience because that very easily could have just gone a different direction, you know? So, yeah, hopefully more acting and hosting things too in the future.
I really am so excited for you how that happened and also praying that something similar happens to me.
It will. The stars have to align and they have to align sometimes.
Get called into a room and just, you know, where your anxiety is like, what did I do? And then it's like, oh, you guys are so cute together. We're gonna give you a show. It's like,
yeah, we're rewarding you.
Oh, I just be like,
that doesn't happen though. That's the thing. Oh, you think I didn't?
Oh my god.
But yeah, the tears came later. Don't worry. Never
girl.
In front of people.
But the ultimate thing is not only did that happen, but you guys are exceeding and excelling. I mean, the show is adorable.
Thank you.
Like it's so good.
We're really proud of it.
It's so good.
Yeah.
And I guess last thing I want to talk about is because you are so prominent with social media, you know what's going on, you know the up and coming apps. What has been the most significant change that you've seen throughout social media, and how does Nickelodeon keep positive when sometimes social media can be a very negative thing?
Oh boy,
That's such a loaded question,
I have so many thoughts on this topic because, well, in my social media career and especially being at Nickelodeon, we are making content for kids on an app that kids shouldn't necessarily be on. And I think like that in itself is something to wrap your brain around and think about how are we raising our kids and all of this stuff. So, and also, I mean, I work directly with these child influencers and children who have more followers than they know what to do. Then they have worldly sense, if that makes sense. So it's kind of discovering, I don't know, the happy medium and trying to balance that because social media takes over so much of our lives. And I'm not an influencer. I know all of the right ways to handle and present yourself on social media and best practices. And I'm able to definitely teach that and love, you know, creating content and posting that. But I'm also having to learn from these child stars who, I mean, Gen Z scares me. They can pick up a phone and I thought I was young and hip. I am not young and hip. These kids know the apps, they know the filters, they like ugly faces of themselves and that's what's cool and you have to master the cool thing. And it's all of this stuff. And Nickelodeon, I think, does a really fantastic job of staying relevant, staying young, but still being able to have a really positive voice out there on the internet because the internet can be scary. And hopefully if a kid is on their phone and like watching Nickelodeon YouTube videos, Inside Nick, or, you know, on following Nickelodeon's social media and Instagram. Hopefully that's a safe place for them and they can trust that, because there's so many scary things on the internet, and being a kid out there right now would be terrifying.
And you and Taryn do a great job at being older sisters to the
That's exactly what we're going for. So
it's
thank you.
You can relate with the young, vibrant energy that you bring to the show, but also it's like the kids watching you are like, oh, that's my sister. That's
or like
good.
My babysitter.
You reminded me of like the cool babysitter that I looked up to when I was younger, that had like all the cool outfits and said all of the cool things.
You both are making me so happy right now, because that is literally like in our pitch Bible. We're the cool older babysitter that you want to hang out with.
Well, and
so,
what you know, like Inside Nick wouldn't be like, because I don't watch I'm like OG 90s Nickelodeon, but I don't know really what's on it now. But when I've watched some of your episodes, I'm entertained because you're so like it's for
all ages
across the board, which is not easy to do. And the fact that you and Taryn do that, and the team. Props.
Thank you. Really appreciate that.
It's been a pleasure having you, Carly. I'm so excited.
Oh my gosh.
So I know I talked in your bio where people can go, but just reiterate it one more time where the people can go and watch Inside Nick and find you on social.
Awesome. Well, everyone can find Inside Nick on Nickelodeon's YouTube. We have a playlist there where you can go, and we're releasing one episode every month right now. So check out season 2 right now. And then also you can follow me on Instagram at CarCap.
Love it.
CARKAP.
Love it, girl. Well, I'm excited for season 2, and we will do a big promo when it comes out. And thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to actually be here.
All right, listeners, we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Boss Please Pod. And don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe on iTunes. Navigate the path to your best self with us, because bossing together is always better.